Good evening, all, and welcome to Kal-bardr's Corner for this first episode of Facing the Storm. I'm your host, Baron Kal-bardr Gellir, the Storm Master, here to help our guests venture through the fire and flames that are on their horizon. And for this first episode, I'd like to introduce the progenitors of this idea, or at least the ones who thought, hey, let's go on camera with Cal and eat some hot stuff. That's a great idea. The new heirs of Glenalbin. Please welcome Prince Kristoff, called Wolf, and Princess Broinninn. Good evening, Your Highnesses.
Good evening, Cal.
Hi, Cal.
So, how are we doing?
Doing good. I'm ready to eat some hot wings.
I was talking to Wolf before the show started. He's like, it's like a sauna in here. It's like just flames radiating off the table. And I was like, bro, you did this to yourself. So I'm excited for y'all tonight. I'm excited that I'm here and not there, first of all. So you can't be mad at me and I can't get hit. So this is good for me.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so before we get going, I want to first of all I want to introduce y'all, and I want to talk about what we're doing tonight. So, if you will, introduce who you are, where you're from, sort of a little bit of backstory on you.
Why don't you start?
All right. My name is Kristoff de Winter, called the Wolf. I've been playing in the SCA a long time. I think since Gulf Wars 12. When I had befriended someone who took me aside and said, I've got this thing that I think you'll enjoy. And she was absolutely right. And hit the ground running and tried to take all my friends with me. We had a great time getting started in the SCA and coming to where we are now.
Yeah, so I started playing in the SCA when I was in college. We were dating at the time. We really hadn't been dating that long, and kind of along the same lines. He said, hey, I'm involved in this really cool hobby. I like you. You like me. I think you like me. I have this really cool hobby. Let me introduce you to it. And 20 some odd years later, here we are and eating hot wings together. So it's that's kind of where we are.
20-something year later, the newest princess and newest Pelican of Glenalbin.
Yes.
Same day.
Same day. Same day.
You realize you've like peaked, right? That was you're done. You can't get any better than that.
That's an epic day. That was a day I experienced so many emotions. I can't even begin to describe. It was an epic day for sure.
Was it everything you wanted? Did it culminate? Was it like like you saw it in your head like your wedding day?
I almost want to say it might have been a little bit better than my wedding day. So
we couldn't get the live peacocks.
They tried. My friends tried. They did. One of my friends, bless her heart, Jenny Rigby, she pulled me to the side and she goes, I have to apologize. I've tried so many times to get you live peacocks. but we just can't. They tried, bless them, they tried.
I appreciate the efforts. I say your tail was fantastic. It definitely the tail train was amazing to look at. So I'm glad. I was glad to be there and glad we got to be part of it. So glad to be there.
That was awesome. Yeah.
So before we dive into tonight's show, I do want to toss this up because you guys are the sitting heirs of Glenalbin, and so as official positions, the views and opinions expressed here in this show are those of the participants and do not reflect any official policy or position of SE Incorporated. So if there's something we say tonight that is incorrect, wrong, or an opinion, that is our personal opinions, and you can email crown@glenalbin.org and tell them about their children.
Right under the bus immediately.
Right. That's my job. All right. So why don't you guys tell the audience a little bit about what we're doing tonight and sort of where this idea came from? Because apparently it's not unique, right?
No, there is a popular show where they get celebrities on and they eat hot wings and answer questions, and I've always found it to be hilarious. And when Brennan's a friend gifted her with all of these sauces because
I'm a pepperhead. I love spicy.
We have a fun game we like to play when we go eat wings and get the hottest one on the menu and sit there and laugh at each other, and she watches me sweat. So I thought it would be a fantastic idea to do this in costume.
Why not?
with our goofy hats and our goofy clothes on. I love it.
Why not?
And we've already been reminded by the audience we might want to throw up the swear warning just in case. So of course, our brilliant heirs would not disgrace their thrones with those nasty words, but I, however, might. So that there. All right, so we have six hot sauces tonight.
Yes. 6 hot sauces.
I prepared 6 questions to go along with them.
All right, we're going to go from lowest heat to hottest heat.
So let's see. So I've got a picture of the hot sauces here. We're going to toss it up on the screen real quick. And we will talk about each of the names. So that is from left to right, least to most hottest. Do we have a Scoville? I know the 2.2 million is the hottest. What's our starting point?
Go grab the
I actually remember this. This one is the lowest. I think it was like 12,000 on the Scoville. 12,200. Thank you.
So 12,000 to 2.2 million.
Yeah,
I like it.
Red habanero is where we're going to start. So.
All right. So for those out there watching, please make sure you introduce yourself in the comments. Let us know you're out there. I can see the number, but I can't see who's watching. And say hello to their highnesses. Tell us all the nice things about them. And if you've got a question you'd like me to use, my sound is muffled. Okay. If you have a question you'd like me to use instead of one of my later questions, toss it in the chat. And I'll see what I can do. So do that. So first up, your highnesses. So tell us about the hot sauce and tell us, and let's have a bite.
So this is the Heartbeat hot sauce out of Ontario, apparently. It is a red habanero. It should be the lowest one, so it shouldn't be any trouble. We'll see what happens.
There you go. Here, I'm gonna make you guys big so we've got a good view of this one. Go ahead. There you go. I'm here for you.
There you guys go.
Here we go. All right. And we have a little funny tradition. We always do
Tap
that.
away.
Tap, and here we go. Oh, but you're just doing one bite?
Oh.
Really?
Already getting trash talked. I love it.
That's a tradition around here.
All right.
Oh, that's really good.
That is kind of sweet.
It does. There has to be what?
And I tossed these right before we came on. I had separate bowls for everything. You can feel the heat, but it's not terrible.
Okay, so the ingredients in this one are bell peppers, onion, still vinegar, habaneros, obviously, cane sugar, garlic, lime juice, sea salt. So there is definite heat, but I mean,
tasty.
Some comments from our audience here. Just going to put that up there for you, Your Highness.
I can't read this. I'm sorry.
It says, "Eat it all, you pansy." There you go.
I mean, okay.
I won't tell you where in your house that might have came from. Just gonna.
My friend.
Yeah. All right. So your first question to go along with this this milder wing, tell us about your personas and how you're going to incorporate them into your reign.
Well, I'm still chewing, so.
All right. All right. So my persona has kind of evolved through the years as you're, and has come to land on a 13th century Mongolian persona, and it's really interesting to kind of to pull that in because you don't find that many portraying that time period or that place in the world. One of our so pulling it into the reign, I'm hoping to pull we're really hoping to get some horses and pull that in with us, just because the Mongols were horse people. You see constantly nomads moving along. We're not planning on nomading out of the kingdom anytime soon.
As a fellow horseman, and you know what I call hipster Mongolians, as the Scythians, were Mongolians for Mongols are cool. I appreciate the horse work.
One of our favorite studies into the Mongol culture was when we went down to the Genghis Khan exhibit, and we rode ahead, and got to meet the people backstage. I got to try on a cloud Dell that was not put on exhibit. It was a great experience, and one of our friends from down that way had already beat us to it and met everybody. So apparently, Barras was sitting outside when it opened. So
I can, from what I heard, Sir Barras was there opening day, opening night. The next day, he was there the first week. Like he was there a lot and has a ton of pictures from it. So
it was really cool. So.
Your Highness?
So my persona, I tend to switch back and forth. My main persona is 14th century English. I tend to wear a lot of coat of hardies. It's one of my favorite dresses. I feel like a typical Disney princess in that. But I will switch back and forth to 13th century Mongolian to match him. Again, that's going to be our primary dress for our reign if something tragic happens to their majesties. Hopefully not. Long may they reign. But yes, that will be our main time period. That's what I was looking for. Time period for us will be the 13th century Mongolian. So.
You know, it's funny now in the days of post-COVID that long may they reign is almost a curse more than it is a hopeful wish.
That's true. That is very true.
We joked the other day after their Highnesses Tim and Ismay won that if we have another pandemic, we're blaming it all on them because it's clearly their fault now. So, man! All right, well, cool. So that's interesting. I'm always happy to see more early period in non-European things occurring. So it's really nice to see the Mongolian interpretations in. The Dell work is just amazing. Brendan, I know you make a lot of the Dells for His Highness and have taught classes on it. I saw your handout recently being put out there, so I'm just amazed in the work you've done with that. So, you know that them laurel leaves might be coming very soon with your to go with your Pelican there.
Who knows?
Just saying.
We'll have to consult those whole knuckle bones, you know.
The amount of questions she asked at that exhibit was extraordinary. Down to how you do the sleeves. It was we had to take pictures of everything. We got fussed at by the curators by leaning over the ropes to get pictures behind.
I got fussed at. I did.
You're like, I just need to see the back of it, man. You put the wrong side here. Yeah.
It was to the point where the curators and the museum security guards, thank you, they started kind of covertly and then not so covertly following us because I was kind of leaning too far over the ropes and getting a little too close while trying to take pictures. So that happened. That happened. True story. So. So.
Yeah, I know Bras was showing me some of the pictures he got of some of the armor work because we were doing to the Lamellar lacing. He has some pictures of some of the backside of it that he had to stick his arm in and like go and yeah, so he has some lacing patterns that should not have been seen publicly, and I'm happy for them, frankly.
You do that.
No, they really don't. They really don't. Thankfully, we managed to. He turned on his charm, and he managed to distract one of the. I probably shouldn't tell you on this now, but whatever.
Apparently.
So, talking to one of the security guards over here, he put on the razzle dazzle over here, while they were like snap, 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 snap. But it all worked out.
That's called a coordinated effort. I love it. All right. Well, let's go to the next one. You guys are hungry, right? Come on. So coming up next, we have the Torchbearer sauces.
It is. So this is Torchbearer's Son of Zombie wing sauce, excuse me, XXX hot. And we said this one was 24,000 on the Scoville scale.
So double the last one, not terrible. All right, going up. All right.
Most of them try to jump up there on top of each other. So
most of them do end up top one.
So we get to the end and it just blows everything out. So
all right, here we go.
Come on.
Cheers. Oh, I like that one, dude. Mm-hmm.
That's also sweet. I think mine is broken.
Okay, so I get sweet second, but I definitely get the pepper.
Oh my god!
All right, you can't read that.
I think mine is broken. Your taster is broken, Your Highness. You broken your tongue.
My wings are broken. They're all sweet. No, there it is.
You know, that would have been a clever trick if you just put the same sauce on all of yours and made hers hotter. That would have been really good. You would never do that, of course, but that would have been hilarious.
They're all different colors.
Fair, okay.
It's like orange, red, orange. I don't know what that is.
If it's black, you probably shouldn't eat it. That's not great.
That was delicious.
That one was good.
All right, your question to go with number 2, and this is going to be more for Wolf, but Brendan, I'm curious of sort of your half of it.
Okay.
Why did you guys decide to fight in Crownless? And sort of in general, like, what is your why do you want to be crowned? Why did you want to be crowned?
It's starting this off is tricky because you want to say, you know, the pageantry, just the feeling of being, you know, at the top that day. But it's more once you're prince and princess and king and queen, not only do you have a lot of the kingdom riding on you as far as how you lead and how you treat the people, you become part of that dream. So in the SCA, we're always talking about the dream. And as prince and princess and as king and queen, you become part of that aspiration. Not really part of the background, but part of the feeling that puts everyone in that mood when you are portraying your timeline and you are in the moment with the character that you are at that time. So it's that feeling of being part of the dream and service to the dream and helping everyone else do that. And that's where it rolls. So
that was an amazing answer. Brendan, what how can you top that? What can you add to us?
Well, he pretty much said my feelings exactly. we both have a desire to serve our kingdom and serve our people. And this is a good way that we can do this. We both have a big heart for this kingdom. We have a big heart for our people. We have a love for the kingdom. We have a love for our people. And what better way to serve our populace than by doing this? And this is the main reason why we decided to enter this crown list and all of the other crown lists that we have entered.
All right, Broinninn, I have a follow-up question for you in the same kind of vein. On the day, so this is the day of your elevation, you see Wolf doing well. Finals hit. What's going through your brain?
There was a moment that I did turn to a good friend and a peer of mine, and I went, "Oh my gosh, we're in the finals." And she took me by the hand, both my hands, and in her very calm voice, she looked at me and she goes, "Breathe." And that's all she said. And that's all that it took. So there were 1,000,005 things going through my brain up until that point. But I knew I just had to look at this one person. That's all she said to me. She took me by the hand. She just said, "Breathe." And it was all okay. So he and I both, I shouldn't say just me, he and I both, we have an amazing support team around us, beside us. Even here today, we have an amazing support team that we could not do this. We couldn't even enter without that support team. So no matter how the day ended on Crown List, we still have that support team.
Yeah, 2 of them are here in case we need to be driven to the hospital.
Right. I appreciate the offhand text you have there. And speaking of one of them that's out there, also came in 3rd in that list. So kudos to everybody that fought that day.
Yes.
Absolutely. It was a fantastic day. As hot as it was,
oh yeah,
everybody was shining that day.
Yes.
And Wolf, for you, so this was a non-shield list. How was that for you different from previous lists and sort of going into that with that little bit of weirdness?
Well, when it was announced, I put down my shield. I figured if I was going to do well that day, I was going to have to fight to really change the way I fought with everything. So I trained with the spear in one hand and the sword in the other. Trained a lot of glaive work with all the fighters, and I just really tried to put that in my hands and be as natural as possible with it. And and funny thing, on the day of, I had built a glaive or put one together the night before that I was going to use in Crown. And when I got there, it was a pool noodle. I had not fought with it, but when I got out and did warm-ups, I realized I had stabbed a window in the shield, and it bent back and pointed at me.
Yep.
So
it was almost a rapier legal. It was almost rapier legal. It was so whippy. Oh my god!
Run over and tell the marshal, like, I can't fight with this.
As it's you literally did this and it just wobbled both ends. It was
so
that was I looked at that and was like, no, I'm good. Pass. Like I don't get it with that.
So it
wouldn't hurt unless you got whipped by it. Like you could stop. Right. Swing
it, it leaves back here and then comes in.
So we have a comment for Her Highness from Kisa. The whole list. Last fight, she was watching you. Your face when you realized he won was just amazing. It made her tear up. Oh, it was really interesting watching the. I always enjoy watching the consorts and watching sort of the background of things happen. Like I'm a fighter, I watch the fights, but then I look up and see how the crowd reacts, and it's always really interesting to watch, win or lose, how the crowd responds to it. You can see where the support is, and you guys definitely had that support that day.
She has supported me in every crown we have fought. always, or do you have water? Are you okay? Do you need your gloves? Do you need this? Do you need that? And it is well received.
You guys are a lovely pair, and I'm excited for this rain. Excited for some of the stuff we've talked about offline as well. Not excited for my new job I have to do now that somebody's going to be busy next Gulf Wars, but She's like, oh, I got to be queen now, I guess. I don't know, pending something happen.
Fabulous.
I didn't realize that Gulf Wars was on our ticket until
Oh, well, I forget to remind you of that.
I mean, you guys can go to Penzic too. I know some people going, so just saying we can make it happen for you. All right, moving on. Number 3. What's up on the docket?
All right,
number 3. Let me pull on my cheaters here. This is a howler monkey. It clocks in at 50,000 Scoville.
Ooh, okay.
It was a traditional Caribbean-style hot sauce, unique to the country of Panama. Okay.
Ooh.
And there are ingredients, and they are, why is it so tiny?
Because there are a lot of them, and they're all painful.
They're all trying to kill us. Right. We're big fans of food that is actually actively trying to kill us.
So this one has Scotch bonnet peppers, garlic, onions, mustard, turmeric, cumin, black pepper.
Okay. And this one is kind of a less thick sauce.
Sounds really good, actually.
Broken. I'm going to hit hers and mine a little bit.
Share the love. All right, let's see.
You signed up for this, right?
I did. Hold on. Let me reach over.
Hit the wet side first.
I guess she's got to watch the sleeves. I can say it's a real problem.
All right.
She gets angry at me when I do things like that.
Here we go.
That is up a notch.
I saw your eyebrows lift a little when you did that one. Like, that crown moved.
I'm not convinced. I mean, it's good, but I'm not.
Scotch bonnet.
I think my taste was broken this time.
I was wondering if that was going to happen as you get hotter, and there's some definite heat there.
Yeah, I mean,
as you get hotter, does that just kill your taste buds?
We'll see. We'll ask that at the end of this. You can still feel your tongue at that point. All right, we'll give. So the question for this one: what is your most memorable SCA moment, other than your crown list that you won? You have to give something other than that day. What is your most memorable, the dream moment?
Okay. You want this one?
I'm bleeding, but I know the answer.
Okay. So I tell this story often enough. Years ago, I had gone out to Australia War. I was the lady who brought me into the SCA, Baroness Caressa de Marchena, out of Antir. She flew down to Mississippi, took me to Gulf Wars, and at the time she was the mother in SCA to the king of Antir, Sir Davin the Lionheart. So having met them, I had the opportunity to go out to Arizona, the second time I'd ever been on a plane in my life, to Australia. And it was fantastic. I mean, it was just this grandiose, huge war. It was 2001, maybe. And I remember clearly one night I was walking back to camp, and I was walking across this field, and for a moment, I could hear off in the distance drums, and they had started a bonfire somewhere on this field, and I could see it. I could see it out in front of me, and I could see the shadows of of dancers, and you could hear that beat, and you could see the smoke. I looked around, and all I could see were period canvas tents. And you have, the moon light up, and it's beautiful and all encompassing there at that moment. And for a second, I feel like I stepped out of time. I feel like that part of me that always yearns to feel in the moment, I felt I was right there. I just, everything was there. And it lasted long enough for me to imprint it before a golf cart rolled by. But for that moment, I was there. The modern world faded away. All I could see and all I could feel was that part of that dream. So, most memorable moment.
There you go. Excellent. Thank you for that. Broinninn, what you got?
My first Gulf Wars was 2006. Yes, 2006. And it was my third event. I'd gone to 2 smaller events before. And so I was still relatively new-ish. And the thing that stuck out to me the most, I witnessed my first elevation ceremony ever. And it was at night. And just the words that were said for this individual, who's actually one of our best friends.
Who was?
Sir Drogo. The words that were said, the emotion, the feeling, I didn't quite at that moment in time really understand what all of the pieces of regalia meant. But because of how things were said and the closeness of the people and the atmosphere of the evening made such an impact on me that was probably one of my most memorable moments very, very early on in the SCA. And that was probably the main reason why I am still here 20 some odd years. I'm not that long. It close to 20 years later. Just that 17. I can't math. I've had.
We math from 2006. I've done this math recently because
I don't know.
I don't like it either. But it's close to 20. Yeah, it's getting there.
However many
Measured.
So, but yeah, it was a lot of emotion and a lot of emotion, I guess, and just in that one moment, and it just really cemented to me what this organization is, and like I said, it's one of the reasons why I'm still here today.
I think it's both of you bring up really interesting points of that dream look, the tents, right? The period tents is always the one you see that view. And then watching an elevation, you're right. Watching court, I think bits of court do that for me, especially Glenalvin does it with the sword arc over the crowns coming in. That always that gets you for a minute. And watching some of the elevation things, it's the interesting bits when they do like the color of steel from out in the west. I've seen that done a couple times at Gulf Wars recently, and that just it gets me, man. I chills. Love it. Love it. Awesome. That's good. I love asking these questions, and I have to give credit to my good friend Maeve from up in Abacal for tossing that one at me. It's a question I've asked before but forgot about, and she made sure to bring that back to my attention. So thank you to Maeve for asking that from Griffin Eye News. So let's move on. That's our first 3. We're doing good. You guys aren't sweating yet. I said yet.
I'm not.
I am.
I'm not.
Well, I think you and I both sweat just on a good day, though. So, all right. What's number 4?
Number 4, slight technical issues.
Sure. Oh, yeah, please.
Pass my phone over.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. Sorry, I noticed that our bridge to you had lost power,
Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Yeah.
All right, so number 4 is from Bravado Spice Company. It is black garlic Carolina Reaper sauce.
Oh,
It says
now we're getting
super hot. Yeah,
Mhm.
now we're hot. So this one is what's our little note over there say? Oh, this is 70,000
Okay.
Scoville units.
70,000 on the
Ooh, let's see
Bravado.
what's in here. This has serrano peppers, Carolina Reaper peppers. Let's see. Salt, maple syrup, so it's gonna have a sweetness to
Maple
it.
syrup.
It'll have a sweetness to it. Roasted garlic, black pepper.
We want a little extra on ours too?
If you want to.
I always want.
There you go. He's always on it.
I mean, sure, why not?
All right. So these next 3 questions are a little harder. We're trying to get a little hotter tonight. Was my goal. So we'll see what we got here. Let's see you guys have a bite of this one. Go for it.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
Like how she was eyeing you, like, what did you do to me? Like,
I think this was my idea, right?
right. All right. What are we thinking? How we feeling? Good.
Tasting any of the garlic. I'm gonna touch my glasses gingerly.
Yes. Please don't touch your eyes. We don't need that.
Just on a side note, once we were making an ice cream topping out of habaneros one afternoon. Habaneros and pineapple, just not just habaneros on ice cream. And I put on my gloves. I was being safe. I cut up everything. I hadn't touched anything. And at one point, I reached up and wiped the sweat off my brow and went back to chopping. And I thought my forehead had caught fire.
Yep.
So I understood what was happening. I was like, okay, we got to get the capsaicin out of my skin. Otherwise, I'm just going to suffer. I mean, eventually it goes away. So I call Broinninn, like, can you hand me the milk, please? And she runs to the fridge and hands me the milk. She sees what's going on. And I pour the milk over my forehead into the sink, and nothing's happening. Until I look and notice that it's skim milk. So, put that down. Just wasted 3 cups of milk. So I had to go just run my forehead under cold water for a little while, and it was all right after that. But the ice cream topping turned out top notch.
Oh, good. A little bit of pain, but I'm glad the project turned out at least. That's good.
We took that to an event, and
It was a summer event, and they were having a ice cream topping contest.
Oh, okay.
Bring your best ice cream topping, win a prize. And
she comes in and she's like, "I need you to make an ice cream topping."
can you make an ice cream topping?
You
Yeah,
got
sure,
it.
okay.
So we came home with a little bowl because
really
everybody
cool.
loved it.
So it sounds like goal for us next year. Maybe Glen Albin Social should be ice cream themed. Just tossing the idea out there.
Have a nice little dessert.
Make a note of that. There you go.
A little note on
Put it
that.
down.
When I come down on it,
Speaking of things to do as Crown, you guys have been heirs for a couple weeks now, and again, nothing's going to happen to Connor and Denara. May they reign. But what are your goals as Crowns of Glen Albin? Like, what do you want to accomplish?
For me personally, I want to do my best to continue and support the rapier community. Of course, as a rapier fighter, that community is near and dear to my heart, and I want to support them as best I can, and so do what I can to support them and their endeavors. So,
Okay.
whatever that may be.
all right, my tongue is on fire. Say the question one more time.
I like that. What are your goals as Crown? What do you hope to achieve as Crown?
Okay. Well, I'd really like to see some of the groups that we get to interact with come forward a little bit and be more of the main picture. Specifically, well, not specifically, but the first one that comes to mind is the banner, getting them out in front and at the war, and really celebrate the fact that they are that these orders are mighty and they need to be heard.
Can you explain a little bit what the bannermen are for those of us watching outside of Glenalbyn?
So if I had to be put on the spot, it is a support for the army. They are the ones out front. They are the ones cheering and charging and being the focal point that everyone else can rely on.
Good answer. I appreciate it. I tossed a little culture, a little knowledge question at you there, and you answered it perfectly. All right. So I think that's good goals. I think it's good to have a little bit of an idea, and it'd be interesting to see, as both of you being fighters, both of you leading the armies on the field next goal for us. I'm excited to see that. So it's always good to win especially as the consort is not it is a fighter coming in. It makes your job a lot easier now. You've already done that before.
It is so cool.
So apparently the one of your bannermen's being called out here, also calling out the Foresters Guild. So toss that out there. Apparently the Foresters need to step up as well. So I think a lot of the different, like we have the Grant level awards, we have the Legio Arsata, Legion of the Bear, and Meridies, and some of these other, like the Velvet Owl and the Bow, that try to do stuff during the year. I like seeing those groups hosting tournaments or holding events and making themselves known, so it's not just an award. It is really a group they're part of. So I think it'll be interesting to see what you guys do with that. Excited to see it. All right, number 5.
Okay, this is the one that we hear so much about.
Yeah.
The bomb. I've always wanted to try this, but not really. The bomb Beyond Insanity hot sauce. We went straight to 135,000 Scoville units from, what was the last one? 70?
70, so about double, yeah.
Double again, so we'll see. Habanero peppers, smoky chipotle peppers, natural pepper extract, nothing natural about it. It's gonna be interesting. So
it was pointed out that he is sweating.
Yeah.
I am not.
Oh yeah, she never does.
I am not.
She actually did the chip challenge.
I did.
At one of the events and walked away from it. Later on, it looked like she had waxed skin.
Yeah.
Oh, well, would you like to? I don't have to.
A little.
I think y'all should.
A little.
Well, I think you should. There you go. A little help from the peanut gallery there.
Just to get the flavor involved.
Right.
I mean, these have been,
Yeah, I doused them before we got here.
They've been sitting. They've had time to cool off. Because the hot sauce does that.
The flame has subsided.
Right.
All right.
According so apparently Her Highness never breaks a sweat. It will be unprincess-like for Her Highness to sweat. There you go. But also, she's a ginger. Just reminds her of hell.
I'm not sure.
Oh, let me make you guys bigger so we can see your faces. There we go.
That is some pepper.
Oh, this will give me the giggles. This is going to give me the giggles.
You can taste the smoke off of this, like the smoked. Wow! I might have to take a drink.
Oh, bananas, that's hot.
You good?
Now are you sweating?
Probably my eyes are starting to water.
I can't touch them.
I was going to say, please don't. If we see her go running off screen, we know why.
Okay.
All right. Oh, there you go. Breaking out the mango lassi. All right.
That was rough. Oh, that didn't help.
It's skim milk. It's wine. It's fine. All right. So, question for this one. What needs to change to improve the SCA as a whole? And what can you and we do at a kingdom level to work towards that? Please take your time. Man.
Okay, my eyes are actually watering for that one. Hold on. Woo!
You breathe out, and all you do is taste heat.
Uh-huh.
You're blowing it in my face.
So, SCA as a whole,
Oh yeah, my eyes are watering.
I think we are doing a great job as a whole. We have people coming in. We have, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head of the number of Scadians out there that are active and kicking. I do know that to make the SCA better or to keep the SCA going, it always seems like we always need more volunteers from everything. That's hot. Wow, that was. Oh. Now that everything you put back in your mouth is now just as hot.
You're starting to, yeah.
Hot. You go for the mango? We'll go for some of the milk.
I did.
So we got our plethora of fire alarms here. We got a mango latte, we got the milk, some Gatorade, some water, anything that we might need so we're not just sitting here dying. But the SCA as a volunteer organization, and it seems like some people, or not some people, it seems like the problems that you face when you want to step up and do something or you want to step up and help is not knowing how to, or not knowing if you can or if you're allowed. I know that I've often, early on, I would stand back and not understand what I could do and how I could jump in until someone, gets you by the shoulder and is like, hey, can you help us do this? And you absolutely. And I feel that everybody really wants to do that. And they're just waiting for the chance and the reason. So to make the SCA better, I'm sure there are people with definitions and ways, but I know how to make the SCA continue to be the great place that it is, and that is by pitching in and by everyone helping.
Good answer, Brennan.
What?
You read the question again, Brennan, or you got it?
Okay, now that I think I have my giggles.
Okay, yeah.
It's the hiccups you got to watch out for.
No? Well, maybe.
So last time I ate a hot thing, I hiccuped for a good half hour afterwards. I couldn't stop. So, yeah.
So how to make the, yes, please repeat the question.
Yeah, what needs to change to improve the SCA as a whole, and what can we do at the kingdom level to work towards that?
Well, I think you pretty much nailed it. Dag nabbit, look at you go.
I have opinions.
You do have opinions.
I don't talk much.
I do think your answer, dag nabbit, encouraging people to volunteer, absolutely. I hate to just say the same thing you said.
Well, we are.
It wasn't real. I know.
And sometimes the people that do a lot of the volunteering have to take that person by the shoulder, or have to say, "Hey, would you like to help out? And I'll show you what we're doing, and I'll show you how to run a list. I'll show you how to run troll. These little things that the populace goes in and you eat feast, and it's delicious, and you pack up your things and you go. Well, there's a lot that goes into that, and everyone should at least experience it. And that's how you get volunteers. That's how you find people that love to cook, or that's how you find people that enjoy sitting at troll and talking to everyone coming in. Because it is kind of a slog sometimes, because your money receipt, right name, sign waiver. Don't eat that.
Now, on that, I think it's also the people who are used to doing that job and they get into that slog need to be mindful that if you're in that job and you are looking like, oh, this is a job and this is really, this is not what I want to do, and I have this really horrible look on my face, and I don't want to be here. Be cognizant of that fact, because you may have a brand new person coming to your event for the first time, and that's what they see. You always want to have a mindset of you may be meeting somebody for the first time at your troll table, and that's the first thing that they see is Sue sitting at the troll table. No offense if your name is Sue.
Sue is a made-up name.
Sue is a made-up name. I apologize if your name is Sue. But that's the first thing they see, and they go, well, Sue looks like she's having a miserable time. Well, is everyone else having a miserable time? So make sure that if you're in that role and you're doing something, that you are doing it with what we say, with a servant's heart, with a joyful heart. Whether it's your 20th time running troll, and thank you, and you've been sitting at the troll table for hours and hours and hours, and maybe you're starving, maybe you're hungry, maybe you haven't had a chance to go to the bathroom yet, Always be mindful of how you present yourself, because you never know if you're going to be the first person that new person meets for the day. So
it's two things. I'm gonna gift you some knowledge, Your Highnesses. Of course, you don't need it, but I as a foreign ambassador to your kingdom, you just said something that I want you to remember as well. You're gonna be someone's first crown.
Yes.
I can't wait.
That I heard that one day and I was like, oh, that's a thing, folks. Okay.
Yes.
So remember that every time you put those hats on, you're somebody's first. I like that. And the second thing, I think you hit on the volunteering thing. It's really important. I think the thing that you might want to look at is training our volunteers and training their replacements, and not just trying to get more.
Yes.
Something to consider. I think that's something that we overlook in the SCA a lot, is that training aspect and how to do those jobs and what jobs need to get done.
Right, that teaching aspect of it.
Also from Kisa, Sue, she's the worst. And Kal-bardr's Corner apologizes to all the Sues out there for our misuse of your name. So, all right. Number 6.
All right.
It's gonna be the hot one, folks. All right.
Number 6 is one of it is the hottest we have in the house right now. It is dangerous. I don't know if you can see that evil jester juggling peppers on the screen.
Here, I'll throw the picture up. It's the far right side on the picture there.
The Hellfire Fiery Fool. Hang on, let me put my cheaters on.
Broinninn, do you remember who gave you this one? Who do we have to thank for this particular hot sauce? Do we know?
Oh, yes. Shout out our.
All right. So all 6 of these hot sauces were
okay.
a gift to me at my vigil from the now Master Robert the Just and Viscountess Kathleen Simonetta.
Oh.
So this reports to be the hottest sauce in the world without extract. It has the Carolina Reaper. It has the Primo 7 pot, which I think is. Oh no, I thought that was the Scorpion. It has the Trinidad Scorpion, and it has a very funky script. What's that last? Actual lava. No.
It is constructed of actual lava.
It's like a strain of ghost pepper.
Oh, the ghost pepper. I thought that's what the pot was. Okay.
Genetically modified T-virus in there.
All right, we're going to do an extra one of these. We're done on all the rest of them. This seems foolish.
Just for consistency at this point.
I think that should start answering questions just about the concepts.
Yeah, no.
No, not even.
I gotta have something to go on it. This one's chunky.
Just a dab.
It's chunky. It shouldn't be chunky. That's not good.
All right, we got the
That's
dab.
what
Woo! How would?
All right,
I
here.
got more.
I will wipe some of yours on my wing.
Oh, that's love.
A true act of chivalry right there, folks.
All
right, here we go.
Take the shot. Here we go.
Oh, yours.
This is the one we've been nervous about.
All right, see you on the other side.
Wow.
Really? Really? Really?
Wow, going back for seconds. All right.
This one is not as hot as. Is it just me, or is this one not as hot as the bomb?
No, I know where you're from.
Gonna go back to our comments here and just put that back on the screen. Just
Did you really? Did you? Did you? Did he? Did you?
Oh, that one slows up, and now it's on the back of my trunk.
make sure you breathe.
Hoo-ah. You want some more?
You can dip the bone, you know.
Ooh.
All right, and you guys give you a second to breathe. The question for this one:
I didn't get the coughs.
in your time as retinue or champions, what is something you learned not to do as crown? So don't name any names. Don't bring up super specifics. But what is something you went, I won't do that? And remember, I do have a penalty question if you do not want to answer this one.
Okay. No. I got this one. When right before COVID, I was given the privilege of being called a knight of this king. And it was amazing. So one of the pieces of advice I got, and I don't know if any crown has done this, and I know it's something that I plan on not doing. But someone said to me that everyone deserves their 5 minutes. You should not dismiss someone out of hand just because you are too busy or you are in a flight somewhere else. And that stuck with me. Everyone deserves their 5 minutes. So I want to try to live to that. And listen to everyone, and not just hear, but I want to try and listen to as many people as I can. So that's one of the things I choose not to do as crown is to try to avoid talking to people. And I'm sweating over here.
All right, so I like that. Listening, not being dismissive. That's a good one. Brennan?
Well, that will teach me to go second.
That's what I know.
You've had the chance. You could have taken over. Just saying.
Apparently, someone over here is wolfing down his chicken wings.
Wolf means to devour.
Yeah, it's in his name. It's
So dramatic.
Again, a lot of our ideas on being crown tend to align.
Here, why do you think I'm gonna taste this one?
You go right ahead.
Y'all want me to get some more?
please.
We probably do need to get that second batch. But again, we get the same line to make sure that we let our populace know that we are here, we are available to them. We do want our populace to know that we will listen to them, that we are open to them, that they can talk to us, they can let us know any concerns they may have, and that we will, again, not just hear them, but that we will listen to them.
Okay.
So, like he said, that everyone deserves their 5 minutes, whether it's, hey, look at this really cool thing that I made, or tell us about your problems, concerns, etc.
Why is it chunky?
And I am not sweating.
No, she's not.
I'm not.
I've been wanting to rub my eyes since
Yeah.
number 3.
I did have the whole tear up, but I'm not sweating.
And she had the giggles, which according to
giggles.
you laugh in the face of danger. That's
Apparently.
what it was.
Okay, we have another couple of wings here. If you want to try another one, is there one that you would like to try again?
We're doing all of them.
We're gonna what?
We're gonna mix all of them. With the spiciest question. Yes.
No.
Oh yes.
I beg your pardon.
You're doing what?
That one, just a little.
I love the help. This is great for me. Okay,
All right.
so good. I'll use the my penalty question after this one. This is good. This is perfect. This is the.
How is this perfect?
It's perfect for me. This is good. This is good shows, man. You know they say it builds the ratings up, right? This is how we do it.
So far, all of the sauces have been delicious.
That's true. They have been really good. I have no complaints taste wise
I
on
think-
any of the sauces.
I think out of all of them, this one was just too smoky. That is the bomb sauce.
Yeah.
It is made for one purpose.
So my favorite, I think, either the howler monkey or this black garlic.
I think this one here had the most flavor. There it is. The fiery pool. Okay, so this is an all sauce wing here.
Okay, that's
All
right.
right.
Okay. All right, here we go.
This seems foolish.
It really does seem foolish, but our friends love us. It's really weird.
This is the weird way to show it. Here we go.
Love you, sort of.
It's your adoring populace right there. That's what that is.
Where the eyebrow raise go. My populace loves me.
We do. We did offer you to check out to the hospital, so.
Drive me back.
So, you know it must be wrong.
Don't die.
That is a cacophony of flavors.
Mhm.
5 points for the big word. Thank you for that.
Now spell it.
That's to spell cacophony. I can spell H-O-T. Oh, that is warm.
All right, your question, and I want you to take turns doing this so that Wolf can't steal all of them. Name all of the baronies and provinces of Glenavon.
Oh my god.
All right, so we got Barony of Axmore, Barony.
Hold on. No, it's okay. All right, Axmore's 1. Wolf, what's 1?
Very neat.
Okay.
St. Leon.
Brennan? Okay.
St. Leon.
Torri.
Wolf. What's that?
Torri.
Shire.
That's a shire.
Oh, not Barony.
Baronies and provinces. You got 1 province and 1 barony left.
Is it my turn again?
Right, what? Oh, it's all running. All right, what we said? Great Niche. We said.
Axmore and St. Leon, the 3 you've gotten so far.
It's
Small Gray Bear.
Yeah.
There's your other barony. What's your province?
Lagerdom.
There you go. Somebody knows things. She also doesn't get hit in there with sticks very often, so you know. All right. So the other penalty question I had was name all 20 SCA kingdoms. That one is much harder. So we're just gonna,
Australia.
and there is one in Australia, in fact. Yes. You think you can do it? You want to give it a shot?
Not even. No.
No.
I wouldn't be able to start.
Well, you know at least one of them. It's yours.
At least one.
You live there.
2, 3.
The back. Not just to tell stories, but I'm gonna tell a story.
Oh, please.
Back when my first Gulf Wars, like I said, when they brought me, when Caressa came down and took me to my first Gulf Wars, and we camped beside the Great Hall. So yeah, it is burning. Right beside the Great Hall, underneath the big tree, where the food merchants set up these days. And so the king at the time, Davin, took me on and showed me around and was introducing me to these statuesque people. It was the year that I think there were about 50 thrones across, or it may not have been 50, but it was a lot of thrones were standing all across the fort. And there was great court, and there was a crown in each one of them. And apparently he knew everybody. So I'm being dragged along behind this giant man, meeting these people that are straight out of a storybook. And that was the first SCA experience. I got to stand behind the throne and hold a spear and be part of the guard. And that as a first experience was amazing. And you always try to chase after. Just when you see me starry-eyed at an event, that's usually what's playing in my head. Is these people are amazing, and the things that they do really pull you in and mystify you sometimes. So, anyway.
I like that. And just think, this year at Gulf Wars, somebody else will be sitting in that grand court.
I'm
A slightly different spot for it.
part of the dream. So.
I like that. All right, I'm going to do a couple of show plugs, and then we'll talk about some maybe what's coming up next for Facing the Storm. So coming up next on Kal-bardr's Corner, this Sunday morning, I'll be joined by Baroness Amani from Midrealm and Murphy to talk about service dogs and the Cannon Alert Warning System from Penzig. So it's going to be an awesome show. Looking forward to having some coffee and hanging out with Amani for a bit from Silvertree Souk. She is great people and recently became part of the Midrealm DEI team. So check that out. Sunday night, we'll have the rescheduled Road to Retention episode with Moira of Kent. Fortunately, Remoot's flooding issue has been dealt with, or she's still dealing with it, but it's been mitigated for the moment. So check that out Sunday evening at 8 o'clock for that rescheduled episode. Of course, check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/KK Productions, and join our grand wall of patrons. Support this show and all the other ridiculousness that we do for Coach's Corner, Ask Science Live, and all the others. And of course, if you don't want to look us up on Patreon, you can find us on Redbubble. You can find that banner. Not that one. That one. Search on the Redbubble, search KK Productions, buy some stickers or other swag. There are some Do Nightly Things sheets out there. Just saying. All right. So, and speaking of coming up next, this was an idea. I think we've enjoyed this tonight. We hope you, the populace, have enjoyed this tonight. If you'd like to see more of this, reach out and let us know. I have asked their highnesses if they might want to host an episode of this in the future with some of their predecessors, maybe following in their footsteps. So
Make everyone do it.
an idea out there. So if you want to see more of this, please let us know. Let them know. We would love to keep doing this for you if you guys enjoyed this evening. Your Highnesses, I want to thank you for throwing yourselves on the storm tonight.
This has been fantastic. These were mostly delicious. My lips are still on fire, and it just won't stop.
This was a fun challenge. Thank you for going along with me, Your Highness. Cal, thank you so much for letting us do this online. Again, thank you, Rob and Kathleen, for these wonderful hot sauces and indulging me and us in our absolute love of hot sauces and all things spicy.
Yeah, actively trying to kill us.
There you go. And do you have any parting words for your citizens of Glen Albin? Anything you want to impart on the world?
I guess I do. My personal motto is, in all things, do them with a flair. And I guess after tonight, I'm going to have to add, do them with a flair and do them with a little bit of spice.
Ooh. I like that. All right. Well, folks, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Your Highnesses, we appreciate you as always. But for now, this has been Their Highnesses Glen Albin and Cal in Kal-bardr's Corner. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night. Thanks.